Anto on that team. We got ourselves Geeling Gazy? Is that what your name is? Geeling though. We got a Jayhawk. We got Ken. I'm gonna be first up, and Riz Daddy on the Frosty Mage. I do want to see Riz Daddy on that Ice Form Frost though. I think that could look really, really good. Over on the team 2, we got ourselves Arthun as a Retribution Paladin, Lol Kale as a Red Valley again, Asu Roller as a Monkus. We got ourselves Droog going back at us, Enhanced Shamanton, as well as Grifka. Gonna be first one up versus Kedem. No wonder we haven't had anybody start butchering each other off the bat, because both of them are installed, both of them are looking for each other. That Kedem is looking to pick up the eye. Could at least send the pet in. Does pick up the eye. Does catch his Grifka out in the open. Could go for the Sentinel as well. Gonna be the death shock him. Stun immediately. Grifka getting hit by something. I don't even know what just hit him. This is gonna be stunned to get him into a bit of a secret technique, but he does have himself the Aurora Sacrifice to reduce some of the crit damage from Grifka into an evasion. Maybe Kedem can make some kind of play off of this one. Trinket really, really early for Kedem. I think trying to maybe make a play off of that sap before Grifka even has a global. But now he has to play super defensive. Fortification of the Bear. Got himself a little bit of health to work with. May have to be a little bit more aggressive with a lot of his cooldowns. But Grifka did get a Trinket out of the guy. So right now, Grifka can just gotta wait. He got himself the perfect opportunity. Someone keeping him in combat though, like some kind of a dot. So as long as Kedem finds it before Grifka finds him, he might be okay. And it's going to be stunned on the bed. Cheap shot on Kedem. Does himself a big go. Secret technique potentially. It's going to be a Roar Sacrifice. Helps him a little bit. But no, it's just over. Man, the rogues are down. There's just nothing I feel like a Marksmanship Hunter can do. Unless you could find the rogue and just punish him. And then keep remarking him. That's about all you can do in that situation. But the next Vanish may actually end up getting you the proxy needs. Stun into Gilling does not have an answer for this one. Was available as a secret technique. Just rips right through you. Cheap shot right after. Eviscerates to follow. I think it just might be done and done. Shield defend his last second. Gouges. The rogue is looking for a reset, but Gilling got nothing left. That Gouge is a bit of a sprint away behind the pillar. Not much you could really do in that situation. Gilling tried to see maybe he can get himself a little bit of heals, but I think at this point it's just over. Disarm, and that's going to be a stun. Gilling finally gets himself a chance to hit the rogue at least for a little bit longer, but the next skin is shot by the rogue, and it's just going to be done and done with. Trying to see if he can end it before even technique completed. He was able to get himself a big eviscerate at the end. Riz Daddy did end up fighting versus Grifka last match, and he was able to make something happen there. He was able to beat the rogue some way, somehow. Honestly, it felt like the ball was in Grifka's court, and I don't even know how Riz Daddy made it out of their life. So he's going to try to see if he can do this again. If he can fight through him, then maybe Team 2 has a chance of actually playing the game. But Riz needs to be very, 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 very careful. He does have a slight advantage over the rogue. He's playing Ice Form. Ice Form does buff the damage of your Frost Bolts, which isn't something Riz Daddy really focuses on for duels. But he does end up using the Ice Form to immune stuns, which is super, super helpful. And he also uses it to activate the Water Elemental, which can buff up his frost damage. And it's a much shorter cooldown than Icy Veins. So you can use that to have intermittent burst versus Grifka. Kinda ignoring Frostbolts, but using every other ability available. Picking up the eye is going to hit Grifka with a Frozen Orb on one side, Ring of Fire on the other, Blizzard on the other. Grifka wants to get close up. He can't even stun right now Riz Daddy, so you can just instant cast him back to back. There's nothing that can stop him. Got himself a Cloak of Shadows, but Riz still takes a lot of damage. He's immune to stuns, but he's not immune to damage. Trying to see if he can get himself a bit of reset. Needs to find a way to catch Grifka. Does he guess which way Grifka goes? Blizzard? Wait a second. Wait, he actually does guess right. He guesses correctly. I don't know if he knew or not, but he does guess correctly. Maybe he can randomly Blizzard him again? No, I think he has to go for the eyes. That was actually so close. If only Grifka would have maybe got hit by like a Shadow Flame proc or something from Riz, I think he might have been good. But man, that is rough. Although Riz does have Ice Form coming back up very, very, very soon. Does end up Nova-ing the rogue before he can even close the gap. There's going to be a blink off of that stun. Grifka does have himself Shadow Blade, so it's going to be a lot of damage by the rogue. War Stone for a second gives Riz an opportunity to just walk away from the guy for just a second, dropping down the Smoke Bomb, but you can always drop down Ring of Fire in there, and there's not much the rogue can really do. Frozen Orb as well, Blizzard to follow, slowing the rogue's approach entirely. Does still have a burn on him, so if Riz can maybe set up a Blizzard at the right angle, he might be okay. Grifka trying to see if he can avoid it. No more fire damage on him, so it looks like the rogue maybe made a quick escape. Unless you randomly get him. Oh my god, the predictability of Riz. Look at this guy. He's just guessing. He's just guessing where the rogue might be. But that was a nice Blizzard. Grifka does get himself frozen. But does he have the angle? Riz trying to see if he can find the angle. Flurry to follow. Immune to stuns for a second. I think might just have him. Wait a second. Cheat death. Oh, that Blizzard was so good. My god, that was such good predictability. But Drug is gonna be up next, and he hits with Shaman. He's not gonna let Riz off the hook easily, hitting him with a poly, trying to make sure he can cleanse the Shaman off of all of his buffs. He got himself the full Ghost Soul to the ready. Riz might be in a bit of a trouble. Does go for the interrupt as a Ray of Frost comes out. Almost got himself a bit of a channel. He has himself such a strong ability, but he can't use it against the Rogue at all. Finally able to use at least a Ray of Frost against Drug for a second. The Blizzards, the Ring of Ring of Fire, the Frozen Orb, which I don't really get to say that much often. We don't really see Frost Mages here ever. But Frozen Orb and Blizzards together are chipping away at Drug. There's going to be Lightning Lasso, able to break out of fairly quickly, knocking him out in the open. And playing around the pillar, I kind of think Riz does win this. Does have immunity to stuns, lots of procs, big damage opportunity, wall for Drug as well. It's going to be Warstone for a second for Riz. Just throwing whatever instance he can at Drug until he's out of options. Trying to go for Ring of Frost, maybe to stop him in place for just a moment. Ring of Fire right after is going to be burrowed down for Drug, trying to see if he can knock up Riz, but he barely takes that much damage. I think actually blinked it last second too. So well done for him. Does it himself all the time into an interrupt. Ray of Frost to follow. He can't interrupt it. There's going to be a lot of damage taken. Biggest sentence. Oh, my goodness. As soon as the Rogue is gone out of the game, this man is unshackled. He can actually play. Are you kidding me? And I don't want to be dogging on my main class that much, but man, Rogues in duels, they are oppressive sometimes. Some of the classes just literally can't play like they normally would be able to, just because there's a Rogue just there constantly blasting them. That is going to be LOL KO with a full Crusade. Breath does not quite connect, but for Riz, might be in a bit of trouble. That is a full Crusade. That is a lot of damage available. Does himself all the time, so maybe he could reposition. If he can just live the Crusade, he'll be okay. He has himself a second Ice Bucket in case he needs to. LOL KO looking for a little bit of heals. Right now, LOL KO needs to maximize the Crusade damage, because this is going to be the most amount of damage they got in here. Ray of Frost behind the pillar is going to be a bubble, forcing a pretty big defensive on a low kill. Riz just needs to stay away from the Paladin as best as possible, but at least the biggest burst of a Pally is gone. At least you don't have to worry about that. Going to be a little bit of reversal blink with a breath to follow. Does have lances available. Is this enough? Right now, the Riz may be in a bit of trouble. Might get an Ice Buck here. Shield of Vengeance together with a wall. Low kill, big immunity. Riz might have to go for Ice Buck here. Does get himself a bit of reversal. Images available, maybe? Oh god, this could be a lot of damage here. Ice Buck, does he do it? Might just have to Ice Bucket. There goes the block. Able to recover a lot of health. Lil Kale also needs to go for health. Has a lay in hand, so they need it, but I don't really know. And Lil Kale looking to retreat, but I don't think if you want to do that. Lay in hands, but you're still taking all that chip and damage. It's not a lot of damage, but you are getting chipped away with the blizzards. Lances, I think it's over. Oh my god, Riz does it and bringing it back with Arthur. From one pally to the next, no more Ice Buck available. Riz better pull out all the stops. Arthur actually backing up. But Riz got himself full burst. Probably could be a bubble out of Arthur really early. Might just be a bubble right now. There's a big Ray of Frost. It does a lot of damage. Oh my god, there goes the bubble. And Riz, as long as he can just live this, he might be okay. Though for Arthur, just needs to activate Crusade, land a good go versus Riz, trying to hit him with a final wreck. I don't even know if that connected properly. Does have the turn around very, very quickly, but lances are chipping away at him. 1 second. Oh my god, wait. Does he get a heal? Trying to see if he can end Riz. Is this enough right now though? Big heal. Riz had no health whatsoever. Wait, maybe Arthur does turn it around. Does Riz take him right then and there? Blizzards. Oh, that hammer at the end almost had him. Well done, Arthur. Pressure was on, he had to make a play, and he did do well. Well done, honestly. Well done, Polly, right there for Jayhawk. I think a Jayhawk at this point just trying to see if he can get some procs off of Arthur and maybe take those onto Aussie Roller. As Aussie is going to be up next, Nova immediately is Jayhawk trying to see if he can blast him out. Can he potentially do it? Maybe. Maybe. He's just going to retreat for a second. As long as Jayhawk is extra careful and the Icebox at the right time, he'll be okay. But I think Jayhawk might be lagging a little bit, so that could be holding him back here. It's going to be big kicks. Aussie does get knocked back in cap onto Jayhawk as he does go flying. Got himself full serenity. Zuan joining in. Jayhawk trying to avoid all of them with all the multiple blinks. The mobility on the Mage is kind of crazy. Shifting power really early. Did not end up using any offensives or defensives. I think just trying to see if he can keep himself afloat with the mobility. I think he's just looking for the kite spree. Aussie does end up interrupting one arcane. Might be bad spot for Jayhawk. Ooh, does hit him with a touch of death. He went for a breath. Should have been a nice block. Well done, well done. Yo, Riz, dude, with 3. Not only does he beat the Rogue, but then he makes some of the biggest comebacks ever. If only he got one more Pally kill, that would have been glorious, but the Paladin did not want to lose either. So well done for the both of them. Well done. Dampening? Yeah, dampening is super high, man. I mean, that's what happens when you have a Rogue in the match, right? Rogue and Kedem, long game. It was 5 minutes by the time that was over, and most of it was just them sitting in stealth. That's kind of looking for the guy that's going to be murdering him later, and Grifka just kind of waiting for his cooldowns. And then Grifka versus the Mage, also long game. Grifka was not going to come out unless he got some kind of cooldowns.